So Respawn made a post yesterday, and I'm not going to read everything that they said here because to me it's just a long-winded way of saying nothing. Essentially, any hope that people had for another Titanfall game or Titanfall 3 specifically should essentially be gone, because that's really what this post did. It really just killed a lot of people's hopes for ever getting another game in that universe that isn't Apex Legends. Now, almost a month ago, I actually made a video on the leaks that were going around, or the rumors that were going around, of that new Titanfall game that was being rumored to be Titanfall 3. It turns out that was actually going to be like a Titanfall extraction shooter, and I've seen a lot of people saying that, if that's what it was going to end up being, it's just really good that it ended up not happening at all because they didn't want that. Now, personally, I really wouldn't have cared. Obviously, I still want Titanfall 3. I always would have wanted Titanfall 3, like a direct sequel to with the story and with the multiplayer and how they would have evolved that crazy movement and gameplay and everything. But I also can't lie to you, I would have also been excited to see just anything Titanfall related, anything in that universe that isn't Apex Legends, because I have never been a fan of that game. I'm not trying to talk shit about it. If you like it, that's fine. But I've seen a lot of people too, man, in these comments just asking for Titanfall 3. Everywhere you see, whether it was Twitter, Instagram, wherever Respawn posted this, almost everybody in the comments is saying, just make Titanfall 3. Where is Titanfall 3? They're asking for it. It's obvious that there's still a huge interest in this franchise and in that IP. And at this point, honestly, if you ask me what I'd like to see or what I could see happening, I really just wish they would just sell the rights to somebody else at this point. I know that might sound crazy maybe still to some people, but let's be real. It's obvious Respawn doesn't give a shit about Titanfall anymore. And I know that, a couple of years ago, they made a tweet saying that something like, contrary to popular beliefs or what people are saying, some shit like that. They said Titanfall is the core of our DNA. That was bullshit. That was obviously a lie. They've proven time and time again that they don't care about Titanfall. And even in the post that they made announcing this, so essentially they said that they had 2 games in what they called the incubation state, right? So I'm assuming that's probably like pre-alpha state of game, right? Very early stage development. Both of those games got canceled, and nowhere in here did they even mention Titanfall. And obviously they were never going to say that, right? Because that for them is like, it's like the T word. They're never going to say Titanfall because they know that as soon as they even mention that word, people are going to go crazy asking for the 3rd game. But I think even the fact that they know that, it's obvious what they should be working on, what they should make. There's an obviously like huge interest in this franchise, man. It's no secret. Like with this post, you can see it. And I don't know what's going to happen. I really just wish they would sell the rights to somebody else. I've seen people saying that maybe Arrowhead Studios, the people who made Helldivers 2, maybe they could buy the rights to Titanfall, or they could come in and make maybe not essentially Titanfall 3, but just another game in that universe, some other Titanfall game, maybe the extraction shooter that was canceled. Now, I don't know what the other game was, but they did mention that 2 games were canceled. I'm just mostly worried about or focused on the fact that there was something Titanfall related in development and now it's gone. And it sucks, honestly, man. I think more than just being pissed off, because yeah, it's very easy to be pissed off at EA because this all spawned because EA is just that much of a shitty company. They also announced that, they laid off like 300 or 400 people at Respawn that were obviously working across these 2 games. Since EA decided to cancel them, they laid off all those people. And once again, that also just proves that that's EA being classic EA, being one of the shittiest companies, and not just in gaming, but just in existence right now in like the corporate world or like in companies, whatever. EA is definitely one of the shittiest ones, one of just the worst ones I'd imagine to be at and to work for, because it really just proves that, nothing is essentially safe. You never know when you're at the risk of just getting your game canned that's in development, and then next thing you know, you're laid off. And that really is unfortunate for those 300 to 400 people. That's crazy. But I don't know what the other game was, but I'm really just focused on that Titanfall extraction shooter that was unfortunately canceled. And at this point, I don't even know what's going to happen, because I've also seen some people saying that, don't lose hope. There's still some people out there that I really applaud that, but they're still saying, don't lose hope, because eventually it could happen. And yeah, of course, I'd love to believe that Titanfall is just too good of an IP, too much of a money maker. Like, cause you look at Titanfall, you look at the trailers for the first game, the second game, you could just see like this was different. It looked like it was really a money maker. It had the potential to be a really successful franchise within gaming. But as so many people have highlighted throughout the years, the fact that Titanfall 2 released between Battlefield and Call of Duty, that never, that was never going to help Titanfall 2 and just becoming more popular and getting a bigger audience. And honestly, I don't know if EA just always had it out for Titanfall from the beginning, beginning and just meant for it to fail, or if it was just a mistake. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I'd like to think that had Titanfall released maybe like in between January or March of 2017, maybe things would have been different. Obviously, there's no telling now, nobody knows, but honestly, at this point, man, I'm gonna keep playing Titanfall 2 because that's also something that I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that this game, God forbid, like within the next 2-3 years, they're probably just gonna pull the plug on it. And next thing you know, we're not even gonna be able to play unless you're on North Star or on PC or something like that. So I don't know what this means for the future of Titanfall. I don't even know if there is a Titanfall future at this point. It's clear that Respawn's going to be focusing on Apex, going to be focusing on the Jedi games. And, the Jedi games are dope. I think those games, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I've always been really invested in those games. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to the third one. But in terms of Apex, I still don't plan on touching that shit. I still don't plan on playing that game. And there's even a lot of Apex fans in the comments of this post and just, that I've seen saying Apex is definitely falling off. Apex is shit now. Just, forget about that. Let it die. I've seen people saying all that. And I'm not even an Apex fan like that. I've never been into it, but that should tell them something too. They either need to start drastically improving things in that game and support for that game, or they need to, figure out some other IP or make something new. I don't know, because I've also seen people criticizing Respawn and calling them out for, or calling out the idea that maybe Respawn is a dying company as well within the gaming space right now. And that would be crazy to see EA maybe shut them down one day. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon because Apex is still a huge game, but it's obvious that people are pissed off with them, and it's obvious that a lot of their diehard Apex fans are either, quitting the game or just calling them out for their bullshit, and rightfully so. They should, because, Apex is too big of a game to really, for it to have the issues that it has, this many years on, however long it's been out now. I think it released in 2019, and there's people that are still complaining about the same shit that they've been complaining about since 2019. So that's crazy, and Respawn definitely needs to start changing things and turning things around. And yeah, I can't reiterate how badly I think it's just a better idea to just, sell the rights to Titanfall to somebody else. If you ask me who it could be, I have no idea. Like I mentioned, people are saying Arrowhead, the people who made Helldivers 2. I love Helldivers 2. I think that game is great. Now, I don't know if, they could do that, because obviously Helldivers 2 is kind of like an extraction shooter, but, it's more co-op based, and I don't know how that would work or how that would translate to Titanfall, but they were already doing it. So at this point, that's another thing. I don't think that personally I have to see Titanfall 3. Of course, I want Titanfall 3. Of course, I'd love to see a sequel to the story with BT, to the story with Jack Cooper, see an evolution of the crazy movement in Titanfall 2 and all that multiplayer gameplay. Of course, more frontier defense. But at the same time, I don't think I have to have Titanfall 3. Like I said, this extraction shooter, I would have been fine with that. If somebody does come and pick it up and ends up, fully developing and releasing the game, I'll be very excited for it. I'll probably make videos on it. I'll be trying to play it day one. I'll definitely be there. But I honestly don't know if Arrowhead is even interested in that at this point. It's just something that I saw, rumored or recommended by somebody online. But let me know who you think could take over it, because I honestly don't really know a lot of developers out there that are known for extraction shooters. But if you do, let me know who you think could definitely take over this project, because I think anybody right now is just also, they'd also be fine with Titanfall, anything Titanfall related, because there's just a lot of people out there that are getting fatigued with, Call of Duty's bullshit. I've seen a lot of people pissed off about the Seth Rogen skin and the stuff that they're doing over there, and there's a lot of people that are looking forward to Battlefield 6 hopefully later this year, but at the same time are very skeptically looking forward to that. And I can't blame them. You really can't blame them, because DICE and EA, that's also EA, they have a bad reputation with Battlefield. 2042 definitely let a lot of people down, but I think because of that, there is a lot of people that are just kind of hoping and looking for something new in the shooter space, apart from Helldivers 2. Obviously that was a big thing last year. That was a huge game, still a good game in my opinion, but this honestly seems like it would just generate tons of interest. And also the fact that if Respawn were to just finish this Titanfall extraction shooter, whatever it's going to be called, whatever they would have called it or whatever, had they just finished it, man, they had the perfect opportunity to market it through Apex Legends. Think about all the tons of people that play Apex. It would have been a perfect opportunity to just market your new game and be like, hey, when this comes out, go check it out. Next thing you know, you have tons of people playing that new game day one. Obviously a huge problem that Titanfall 2 had back in 2016. They wouldn't have had it with this game, but now unfortunately it really does seem like it's just too late to even think of what's going to happen. And at this point, I really just can't see Respawn taking it or kind of reviving the project. It's obvious that they don't care now. It's obvious that they really just I guess, have forgotten about Titanfall, which is really a shame in my opinion, because I'm sure tons of people will tell you, as would I, that the franchise, in my opinion, is still very, very underrated. And it's, that's no secret either. I mean, I feel like I'm always seeing people all the time online, tweeting and making posts about, them discovering the Titanfall 2 campaign and how the campaign still holds up so well, how the gameplay still feels so good, almost 10 years on. And next year in 2026, it's going to be the 10-year anniversary of Titanfall 2. Don't expect anything from Respawn. Don't expect even any sort of acknowledgement. Contrary to that tweet that they made like 4 years ago, however long ago it was, Titanfall is very obviously not the core of their DNA. They don't give a shit about it anymore. They haven't for years, and it really is just a shame. And at this point, only the future will tell us, only time will tell. Only time will tell at this point what's going to happen with Titanfall, if there even is any point in holding any hope for this franchise. I don't even know at this point, but I'm still looking forward to maybe somebody picking up the IP, but only time will tell. My name's Nico. Let me know what you think about this entire situation, what you think about Apex Legends, what you think about EA handling this shit as poorly as they have, because of course it's just classic EA. What you think of Respawn, and what you think of the unfortunate news of this Titanfall extraction shooter that was canned. Again, my name's Nico. Thank you so much to all of you for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see all of you in the next one.